Hello everyone, my name is John from Vulgar Kitten Studios, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a LAMP development server in Ubuntu 14.04 LTS. And before I get started, I want to let you know that this is not going to be a production style environment, so if you have any plans to make this a public server, definitely look into something else. You can use Ubuntu Server, which is great. It has a bunch of pre-configured settings that make it pretty good for a production style environment. However, if you're more advanced, if you're more advanced, you're probably not going to be watching this tutorial. But if you are more advanced, then look into something called Arch Linux. It's a distribution that is very bare bones, and the advantage to using something that is a bare bones system like Arch Linux is the fact that everything that you install is exactly what you want, and you get nothing else. So you don't get any overhead from any packages that you're not going to be using or that you don't want, etc., etc. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and get started, and I'll open up a new terminal. And first I'm going to log in as root, so I'm going to sudo tac s and put in my password. And we're going to first of all apt-get install task cell, which is task select, so we'll go ahead and hit yes. And this is going to make it super easy for us to set up a LAMP server. So now we'll just run the task cell command, and this will open up a GUI. And we want to get the basic Ubuntu server and LAMP server. So I'll tab down to OK and just hit enter. And this is going to go through and install everything. And this is the MySQL installation process, so we'll want to put in a password for the root user for MySQL. So I'm just going to use password. Again, this is just a development environment, so it doesn't need to be too terribly secure. And we'll let this run. It should go fairly quickly. Okay, so now we have that completed. Let's just go ahead and clear out our terminal. And now I want to show you how you can install extra PHP extensions if you don't have some that you do want. So we'll go ahead and use apt cache search, and we'll use PHP hyphen just to get everything with PHP and hyphen in front of it. And now you'll see a list of all of the PHP extensions that you can use, and we'll just select one real quick. Let's just grab this pager here, and I'm going to copy that. And if we want to get more information about a specific package, we can apt cache and show the package name, and this will give us a bunch of information about what the package entails when you install it. Okay, so now we'll want to set up a virtual host so that we can do some extra stuff. Before we do this, let's go ahead and check and see if Apache is running. So I'm going to open up Google Chrome, and I'll just put this over here, and we'll go to localhost. And now we can see the default Apache page, so we know Apache is running. And let's go ahead and go back to our terminal now. And we'll test this by installing WordPress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mkdir tacp var www, which is our document root, and I'm going to create a new folder called WordPress. WordPress, if I can spell it right. And I'm going to give it the public underscore HTML as the document root for this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and let's just go ahead and cd into var www, we'll just go in here. And we'll actually want to change the ownership of that file, or that of that specific folder. So we'll chown change owner tac r for recursive, and we'll want to give it our username, which mine is John at John, and we'll just use WordPress right here. So we've changed the ownership, and now we need to make sure that it has the right file extensions. So if we ls on WordPress, then we can see our permissions here. Let's just go ahead and chmod tac r 755 WordPress and ls tac lah. Make sure we spell it right. And looks like looks like all the files were already set appropriately in the beginning, but now we can see our ownership and our permissions here. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out of there, and now I'll actually want to go ahead and install phpMyAdmin. So I'm going to go ahead and apt-get install phpMyAdmin. And so super easy. We don't have to do it the same way that we did in our Windows tutorial. We don't have to go to the website and download it and then extract it and set up configurations. We can just, now we have this GUI here, we can just select our server type, which is Apache 2, and tab over to OK. Just click OK, and that will install phpMyAdmin for us. And so it's going to go through here. Should be asking me for a password here pretty soon. And I'm just going to pause until it's done. Okay, so now it's asking us for a password. We'll just go ahead and hit yes, password, password, password. And this should install it fairly quickly. And let's go ahead and test out phpMyAdmin. So I'm going to come over to Google Chrome and go to localhost phpMyAdmin. And we're in here, so let's just go ahead and put in our password. And now we're logged in and we can see all of our databases and everything. And since we're going to be installing WordPress, looks like I already actually have a database here from a previous installation, which is a little odd. Let me just drop that so that we can go through it from the beginning. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to drop the database with the same name, and we're going to go. Alright, so now we can go ahead and create a new database. We'll go over to the user tab and I'm going to click add user, and I'm going to call this WordPress and give it the host local host, and just use password for the password one more time, and we're going to create a database with the same name and grant all privileges, and just click go. Alright, so now we have that, and let's go back over to our terminal and finish setting up our virtual host. And so to do this, Apache in Ubuntu at least makes this really easy for us. So what we can do is we can nano on, I believe it's etc Apache 2, and we'll go to sites dash enabled. I'm just kind of guessing here, I don't remember what it's called, and in sites enabled we'll create a new file called WordPress and give it the extension .conf, and in here we can set up all of the rules that we want our virtual host to have. So we're going to go ahead and open up the virtual host tag, set that to all IPs on port 80, and we'll close that off too. And we can give it a couple of rules. I'm just going to tab over. No, I'll leave it here. And we can give it a server admin, which this would be like an email that you want to receive. So I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is. I'm just going to put admin at example.com because we're not actually going to be receiving any emails for this. We'll need to give it a server name, which I'm going to call it WordPress, and we'll give it a server alias because we can set an alias in here. I'm going to call it www WordPress, so we can go to either or, and we'll give it a document root, which is going to be var www WordPress public underscore HTML, and we can set the error log, so we'll say error log and set this to $, double curly braces, all caps Apache underscore log directory. So we're going to use that constant and take off caps lock, error.log, and we can use the custom log flag or directive, and just pretty much the same thing, Apache underscore log directory, and then give it the actual log that we want to do, so that'd be access.log combined. And now we can control X, Y, enter, and we'll actually need to enable the site, and we get a command to do that. So it's Apache 2, so A2 in site, Apache 2 enable site, and we'll need to give it the full path to this. So I'm just going to copy this, Control Shift V, and hit enter, and it says that does not exist. So let's see if I did this right. I'm gonna need to cd into etc Apache 2 ls this out, grab sites available, cd into there, ls this out. It looks like I might have put this in the wrong place, so I'm gonna just copy that over. So I'm gonna C or MV on this and move it to Wordpress.conf, and now we have it in there. So let's just go ahead and go up a few commands, and let's enable this. Well, this is A2 in site wordpress.conf. There we go. Okay, so I'll be spelling things wrong sometimes. And so now I'll actually need to go ahead and restart the server. So I'll say service Apache 2 restart. And actually, I think I forgot something. What we'll actually need to do as well is we'll no, actually that's I'm sorry, I'm going to show you how to do this, but it's not strictly required. What we can do is we can actually change the order of the directory indexes. So let me find this in my notes here. I'm just going to pause the video real quick. Okay, sorry about that. We can nano on etc Apache 2 mods enabled dir.conf, and in here we can see our directory indexes. We can see that it defaults to index.html by default, but PHP is way down here, so we can actually move that to be the first file that it loads. So index.php, just in case we have anything else, or if we have a HTML file in there and we want to load a PHP page, PHP will be called first. And so that should be close to what we need to accomplish. We also need to set up a hosts directive as well, so we'll nano etc hosts, and we'll just set up a new rule in here for 127.0.0.1, and we'll set that to WordPress. So now we can actually go to the WordPress directory and get it that way. So I'm going to Control X, Y, enter, and now we'll actually need to go ahead and download WordPress. So I'm just going to come over to the wordpress.org site real quick, and we're going to go ahead and download WordPress. I'm just going to copy the link location right here. We'll copy link address, come back over into our terminal, and I'm going to cd into var www WordPress public HTML, and I'm going to wget that link and let it download, and I'll tar xvzf. Well, first I actually need to find out what it's called, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the file name right here, copy, and I'm going to tar xvzf on that file, so Control Shift V, and now we have it. So let's see where that actually went to. So ls, and that went into a folder called WordPress. It's not really what I want to do, so what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to open up Nautilus as root real quick, and I'm going to come into the computer, come in here and into our public HTML folder, and I'm going to grab everything out of here, and I'll probably want to open up another window real quick. So I've got this as well. Just do the same old thing: computer var www WordPress public HTML, and open up WordPress. And let's see. Well, no, we don't want to go into WordPress. We want to just have that outside of WordPress there. So I'm going to move it in here, and I'll just come back. I can exit out of that now. Control C to end, and ls real quick. And we have all of these files. Let's rm tech rf on latest tar.gz, rm tech rf on WordPress, and just make sure that we have all the right permissions. We'll chmod tech capital R 755 and go up a directory and chmod tech R 755 on public HTML. There we go. So now let's just go ahead and try this out. Let's go to WordPress, or http://WordPress without the org. And there we go. So here's our installation. Let's go ahead and click Let's Go. Our database name is WordPress. I'm going to use WordPress, and password is the password, localhost, and we'll leave everything like that. Go ahead and submit. And it says it can't create the WP config file. That's fine. We'll just go ahead and copy that, and I'll come back into the terminal, and I'm going to nano WP config, or actually we'll need to cd into public HTML real quick, and then nano WP config.php, Control Shift V, Control X, Y, enter, clear, and we'll run the installation. Okay, so the site title, I'm just going to call this WordPress test. Username, WordPress, password, and then whatever the email you want to use. So, and we'll go ahead and install WordPress. And this will take its sweet time. There we go. So now we get a success. I'm going to just go ahead and save the password there. And we'll log in with WordPress and password. And log in. And here's our dashboard, so we can do whatever we need to do. We'll just go ahead and create a post. I'll just add a new post. You can call this is a testing woohoo, and exclaim that. Go ahead and publish. And now we'll go to WordPress test, and I'm just going to open up the site in a new tab, and now we see this is a testing woohoo, and we have a LAMP server with WordPress installed. Like I said, the whole reason that I made this tutorial in the first place was just because I made a tutorial on how to set up a Apache MySQL PHP stack in Windows using a program called Cygwin, but Cygwin isn't really a Linux style environment, and that was what I was trying to convey. But on the Windows side, Cygwin is a C program, or a program with a bunch of C packages and stuff that emulate a Linux style environment. This is a true LAMP stack. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and make this video and show you kind of the difference and why they work, or how they work in sort of the same way, but just keep in mind that it's not the same, and there could be some inconsistencies with server settings and things like that. So I hope you found this enjoyable, and I will see you in a future video coming soon.